We have sociopath kid here. This one, I mean, seriously. You could see it. He's like dead to the world. It's like black boy, redhead. This is school shooter type, guys. This one right here. Watch this. This is the craziest thing. This is this Texas teenager who shot two friends just before Christmas. Two friends. See, you already know he's a socio, okay? So it goes just before Christmas. He walked free a day later on a $1 million bail. Reportedly told police he did it because he wanted to kill for a long time. That's it, right? That's it. Nobody did anything. He's like, I just wanted to kill my friends. I just wanted to do it. I'm just like, he's 17. Connor Hilton of Friendswood. You can't even make this up. Of Friendswood. Okay, Texas opened fire on two other teens at his Texas home on Saturday, December 23rd, killing 18-year-old Ethan Riley. The other victim remains in the hospital in critical condition. Both reportedly had gunshot wounds to the head. I hope somebody pulls through in this case, because holy crap. And they'll agree with me, because you would want to ask these guys like how he was being the whole time anyway, because they were friends with him. And it'll be a hindsight. According to court documents, Hilton admitted to police during an interrogation that the shooting was completely unprovoked. Hilton adds that he had been wanting to commit homicide for a very long time. He's 17. Very long time. Okay? There was no disturbance between him and the other subjects to include any disagreement on the date of this incident. Yes, that's in most of our cases, and law enforcement is the one that likes to add in things and call it a dispute. When there was never anything that happened, half the time, like, these people just do stuff, right? Their brain, that's what we're talking about, right? So it says the teen was rearrested Christmas night and is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. Okay, Hilton allegedly invited the 2 other teens over and was showing them a revolver when he opened fire. I can't even imagine this. Like, I don't even want to think of any friends doing this crap. Hey, you want to see a gun? It's like, no. Okay, the teen claims, according to the affidavit, that his mother mother bought the handgun for him, and it was purchased with the intent to shoot himself or others. Remember, ASPD, harm self or and others, right? That's in there. Harm self. Just because you see somebody do an act to harm self doesn't mean they're not a sociopath. Also, to harm others, and they typically tend to harm others first and then they harm themselves. It usually goes in that order, but all these other cases where they're like, oh, suicide, that's totally been brushed off. The thing about, oh, drugs, oh, that's totally been brushed off. That those are the major flags in this type of person. Major. This one here, long time, right? Like I said, it starts when they're really young. The environment, so you could already see mom. You could read so much into this right here because I gave enough information. It's like mother's like, sure kid, you're psychotic, I'm gonna go buy you a gun, because there's no way you would not know that this kid was already off kilter prior to wanting that to begin with. You're gonna tell me this guy, look at that, no way. So then the Hilton family has since issued the following statement. The parents of Connor Hilton, and you guys got him out under $1 million thing. These people. Okay, Hilton can't express enough their deepest condolence to the victims' families who have been heavily on Hilton's heart and mind as they try to navigate this devastating situation. Well, you're at fault, so the Hilton family wants to thank everyone who has reached out in love and support. You don't deserve it. The family of the shooter? He's the Hilton, right? Connor Hilton. I'm just making sure because I don't want to be trashing the victim's family. The Hilton family wants to thank everyone who has reached out in love and support, including all those who sent positive comments about Connor's character and good nature in general. Are you kidding me? The family asked for continued prayers and, oh no. See, there's more in that, right? It just gave some more indications of the religious home. There, okay, so, okay, prayers for everyone affected, especially the victim's family. Number one, he's a socio. You knew he was a socio before you bought him again. Why are you buying a minor again in Texas? Okay, they have him at 17 in Texas. But mommy bought him a gun in Texas. Christian Family Prayer bought him a gun in Texas, and he's obviously off kilter. And they wanted to add it. This annoys me because there was another case actually with this like gangbanger mother who was like, my son would never do anything to hurt a fly. And then like his whole history is domestic violence and beating up the woman. And like he kept, I don't know, he got in trouble and the neighbor had to like testify. I don't know. There was a whole thing to it. And she kind of answered just like this. And she's like, you guys are just jealous, just because my son's a gangbanger. She basically said that because he was out flashing like this like huge stack of money. And then he was obviously involved in some bad stuff. So the case right now, I haven't looked at it today, but they weren't clear. I guess they weren't clear the nature of the case because she died and they heard her screaming for help. And then he was with them, I guess. And then, so it wasn't clear if it was him that killed her because he could have, because of his history there, and his or enemies went and killed them both because they both were found dead. It sounded like a murder suicide, but it could be in addition to his conduct. It was like that thing. But she was way enabling. And I was like, oh no. So here's the same thing, right? Yes, there is a formula to this monster, okay? So we're pointing it out in a million different ways. And some can be rich and some can be poor. So we're pointing out all the different family dynamics of where that's coming from. So you'll see on these rich kids, I mean, who's getting bailed out under $1 million thing here? And why would you want this thing to be out? Why would you say that? So he's like, I just want to murder people. And they go, I want to thank everybody who, sent positive comments about his character and good nature in general. Um, he's a serial killer. That's a serial killer. It isn't anything else. That's how they think. That's just oh, I've been really wanting to murder some people. I got my object friends here that, they never did anything wrong to me. I really just want to murder them, and I'm going to murder them today. So you're telling me that this stupid family right here is trying to peddle out this garbage here. So you know what we found out in this type of stuff right here is that the abuse at home was pretty bad. It'll be a thing like they totally ignored him and they were pounding off like massive like religion, or they were just a combo of things like neglect, mommy bailing him out, you know what I mean? It was like there's a constant thing going on here. And so it's all here. It's like it's all here. We read a lot into this. This isn't intuition to the you know what that posted on here. This is not intuition. This is actual facts and going off the data and the information that they already know on this disorder, right? So the home dynamic, so we're picking it up. They don't want to pull out the religious portion. They're sitting there enabling this character and good. There's nothing going to be good in his nature. And there's no way in hell, if I even walked on the street and walked by this guy, I'd be quite concerned. And I think most women here can say that. Men have a problem with seeing how monstrous they look. This one here, I know you want to sit there and go genetics, man. It's not. Because if you put some friendly, different thing going on there, it wouldn't be so bad, right? It would look like this sort of innocenty, redheaded guy from, the stick somewhere. But that's not what's going on. You could see it in his face. He's just like, yeah, it's just, their brain. The eye thing's pretty creepy here too, though. And it's not the dark eye thing here. It's very I just don't care. It's just it's a look that like if a woman like women tell me that you're gonna tell me you're not gonna judge this guy. You're walking down the street, you see this face, and he looks right at you like that. How do you think you're gonna feel? You do not tell me that you think that this guy's like ultra friendly, he's a sweet guy, and he was always sweet, and mom didn't know anything, right? No. And so you gotta question how the parents are at home because there's no way in hell that you would overlook that and not know it. So they may be as equal, if not worse, than this beast monster right here. It's not about the guns. Mom shouldn't have bought him a gun, but it really isn't. He wants to murder somebody. So the problem here with these guys is what's happening prior and not the gun itself. Because honest to God, you should be able to sit in a room with somebody with a gun and not worry they're going to shoot up the place. Um, so it wouldn't even have mattered. If mom said no, you know what he would have done? He would have done something with a knife and he would have had enjoyment doing that. He would have had enjoyment doing something. He's plotting, he said, for a long time. So that was really an indicator of what we're talking about when it starts showing up, like around, I don't know, like that 14 age, it starts showing up, but it was already prior. So he's entertaining it, but you have to go back in further. Why is he entertaining it? And the family's just being a pass. I honest to God believe they should arrest the mom. I mean, they needed to do something here because there's obviously something going on here in order for that thing to come out, right? So I don't think that parents should be off the hook ever on this stuff. It's ridiculous. It's them because he's under their parental authority there. This what I wasn't even gonna do this story. I just seen the headline. I was like, it's like he just shot two friends in the head because he always wanted to kill. That's it. I was like, oh, that's the guy I want to be friends with. Yeah, and it isn't different from the other case where I said that that girl she had autism, right? And she's like, yeah, I just want to plot to kill my friend. You know that thing with that other guy. Yeah, and they're minors. A lot of these guys are minor. It's showing up. Like I said, the PD shows up in teen years, so it isn't, oh, I'm 50 and, I just feel like serial killing today. That's not how that comes about. It comes about because of the parents and the home life and that whole thing in there. So I said, you got to watch out for the religious portion, the military portion, the neglect portion, obviously. Those things. So we're looking at it, even with people that show signs of, where I'm talking about the spectrum, where I'm just like, there's a little bit in there. There's a lot to learn from that, though. So, like, they're not going to go, like, those people typically, we're going to say typically, they can always do anything, but typically they're not the ones that are going to do stuff like this. So, on the scale when we're looking at that stuff. So it gives you a lot of information and insight into the other people, like this guy. So, yeah, it needs to be talked about and not this lazy focus on, oh, he got a gun. It's like, did you forget? Like, okay, so let's just say you ban the guns from him. This guy is wandering the earth because he wants to murder some people and you don't think he's going to do it. That's where they're lost. Did you guys ever wonder why Ted Bundy got away with it for so long? It wasn't because he was smart. It's because everybody else is dumb. And this is a case of a Ted Bundy, and this is really interesting what they did here in Texas. Okay, so he was initially charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault, which doesn't make sense. He's a serial killer. So, what he did here was like straight up like first degree murder. I mean, anyway, the police took issue with the initial bond conditions, saying they did not include GPS monitoring or any condition that provide extra security for the community given violent actions of Hilton. Okay, so government was actually at fault for Ted Bundy continually going out murdering people, okay? They don't want to take the responsibility for the shit crap how they view women generally and how they enable this PD behavior, right? So it was pretty obvious this would be like a first degree murder. I don't know how it got serious bodily injury for a double shooting. Like they're trying to blame the victims, like they may have just bullied this guy and I don't know. This is the craziest thing. And then After one of the teens died, a judge approved upgrading the charges against the teen to murder. Really? You guys, I have zero faith in the mental health community. Zero. Now, I don't even know if he had gone into anything like that. These parents sound very psychotic because somebody bailed him out for $1 million. They posted a $1 million bail and walked free. So they obviously have some way to pull some money. They also bought him a gun. So it's telling you the enabling by them. And he's white. Not that we haven't seen any people of color having that happen, but generally they're not posting $1 million bonds, and nor would a judge sit there and go, it's not murder. They must, this thing here. This is insane. But it's actually like an early insight into how they treated Ted Bundy and trying to paint him out as some like mastermind genius when he wasn't. And basically it was just this enabling thing. And then we seen it also on a serial rapist case where they put him out again, even though they kept doing that. And then every time they let him out, he would rape the public again in a mass, serial rape thing that he did. Then they put him back in and that was in California. Then they put him back in. And then he's a massive serial rapist. And he has additions to his sociopath behavior by having some other mental health issues. So then they put him into a psychiatric type of facility. And then they decided we're going to rent a house for him and let him out. And just put him on a GPS. I go, are you kidding? So then he ended up having to get taken back in, right? It's the same thing. They don't take it seriously. But they get these serial killers all the time. And he's just admitting that he's a serial killer. He's like, I just want to murder people, dude. It's like my friend. The worst part of it to me here is he's like, I just want to murder people. I'm going to go murder my friends. My friends, his so quote unquote friends. No reason. And the judge looked at this and was like, not a big deal. I didn't even put murder. Well, you couldn't put a murder, but you could put attempted murder. You could go into a whole thing here. It is, this is insane. This is Texas, but I could see this in California too. It's been happening all over, but this one right here, you need to stop it before they turn to like a late teen here. He's already screwed up. Like he was screwed up before. And this is another thing. This case. Okay, so this case is the reason why I want the child cases open for violent offenders. Violent offenders only, such as this. Because we cannot sit here and say that we don't know that he didn't harm some kids in school and this history thing of it, because they do. Typically, if they didn't get in trouble, then it wouldn't be there. But if they did get in trouble, the public should know, because it's a flag that this behavior is going to go to this. So it will. It just will. It's just part of the thing. And so then the public's not aware, and then he's 17, so here he would fall under being a minor, so then they wouldn't put it out. That was seen in a bunch of cases I've been pulling up, and it was in one of my cases with one of the guys that did bodily injury at a really early age. It wasn't as a teen. So then the conduct, went on later, and then some guy got murdered. I don't know. But anyway, it went into this thing, and I go, no, we have a long history of this. So we're talking over a span of decades that we know that it is doing that. And then, but you don't know how they're tackling it. That's the other thing. It's like this big mystery of what they did, right? So I'm exposing what they did. What they did was only made the mom pay, and then nothing happened to the kid. He didn't get rehabilitation, nothing at all. They just brushed it off as boys will be boys. I go, no. What guy, mostly at like 8, 9, somewhere around that age, sits there and looks at somebody and starts to prey on them and wants to like basically kill them? Because that's really the mindset of that kid. And it's like, that is that behavior right there. And then they enabled it. So it wasn't even like, we're going to go tackle it because this kid's a danger to the public, this white kid. So it's like, no, they were like, you know, white boys just act this way. And then you see they're the ones that are shooting up the schools, right? So it's this thing right here. And then they have a lot of money, right? Whereas other people don't. And then they pay their way out of everything. Like this right here, like what the hell? I can't even answer. That's just beyond. But this is the focus, not the gun. This right here is the focus because he wouldn't want a gun to begin with if he wasn't a PD clusterfuck. And the mom wouldn't buy it for him if she also wasn't a clusterfuck. I mean, it would be this whole thing. Like, nobody would be desiring it unless, you know, you're talking about safety issues, but the safety issues are the cause of this. I mean, it's just like a back and forth thing. It's because these guys, and, you know, it goes into this thing. But yeah, no. I was like, it's pointless to go, oh, let's take away his gun. I was like, good, he's gonna take a big old butcher knife and kill his friends. I mean, that's really where it's at.